Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love MMA and history as much as I do. Yes, this is another who would have won series. This is an interesting fight. This fight could have happened if one of these two guys would have went to the other organization back in 2005 or 2006. Andrei Arlovski at the time was the UFC heavyweight champion. He was knocking guys out. He was on top of the world. And in Pride fighting, not Fedor, they've already fought at some point, but Cro Cop was the other guy that was killing people. Not literally, but you know what I mean, knocking guys out. And he actually lost to Fedor at some point, but that was an amazing fight. And it was a decision. He didn't get finished, so kudos to him. In 2006, Arlovski was champion. Cro Cop won the Pride Openweight Grand Prix title, including with wins, excuse me, I got my English backwards, knocking out Wanderlei Silva, and he submitted, or TKO'd, whatever it was, Josh Barnett, and beat him for the third time. And Josh Barnett was a dangerous guy, still is. This fight was interesting to me, and I'm surprised it never happened, because they're both former world champions, both top heavyweights, both elite athletes, both dangerous, and they're both finishers. So I'm surprised the UFC never tried to make this at some point. Because Arlovski was in the UFC in 2015. He still was. Cro Cop came back to the UFC one time. I'm surprised they didn't offer him Arlovski, because that would have been a money fight. People would pay to see that, especially on pay-per-view, as a co-main event, or even a main event for that matter, you know. But I do understand Cro Cop wasn't ranked at the time, and Arlovski was in 2015. So I understand. But on paper, it looks good. You know what I mean? So, yeah. This fight, first off, would have been a fight of the night caliber fight. In 2005 or 2006, there's only one way this fight would have ended. Here's the interesting part. Cro Cop was knocked out at some point by Kevin Randleman in 2004. And he did eventually beat Randleman in the rematch, but not because of his striking. He got him in a guillotine choke. Outside of that, he knocked out just about everybody he got a hold of. Arlovski, same thing. He knocked out guys. So here's the problem. Arlovski never really... His weakness was always his chin. If he got clipped one big time on the chin, he usually went down. And I know that's the case nowadays, but he's past his prime, obviously. He's not the same fighter he used to be. But he's still winning, so hats off to Arlovski. This fight would have only ended one way. I think knockout. But I'm trying to think of how the knockout happens. If this fight would have happened in Pride, it would have ended in the first round. 6-7 minutes in, I think it'd be a stand-up. It wouldn't be a slugfest type of thing. They're both dangerous strikers. I think Cro Cop, given now he's the more technical striker, and Arlovski's, well, he's technical too, but I think he would go into brawl mode before Cro Cop does. And the dangerous thing is Cro Cop's not really a brawling type of heavyweight. He will brawl, but you know what I mean? He's going to pick his shots, and when he picks them, he usually puts you out. So for that reason, I think Cro Cop would have won this fight. And the fact that Arlovski was knocked out 2 or 3 times, maybe once or twice, I don't know, before winning the heavyweight title. I think what would have happened is Arlovski would have been boxing. He would have been landing some big shots on Cro Cop. Not really to put Cro Cop down, but enough to hurt him and grab his attention. And Cro Cop would be trying to throw leg kicks, but the thing is, he won't be able to throw as many because Andrei Arlovski likes to throw kicks too, so he probably would have checked some of those. And then Cro Cop would have just kept his distance and then try to jab, 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 and punch. But Arlovski would be charging in and being successful with the punches. He'd be busting up Cro Cop. At some point, I think Arlovski would charge in, and Cro Cop, instead of using the left leg like he always used, he'd step to the side, and that would catch Arlovski off guard, and he'll throw that big right kick and still knock him out. That's what I think would have happened. I'd say the left leg wouldn't work because I think Cro Cop would look for that a time or two, and Arlovski, being a really good striker, would have been ready for that. He would have blocked a few of those. So he would eventually use the right leg and put him out, while Arlovski was being aggressive and charging in for the knockout. So Cro Cop probably late first round, early mid-second round.